Like, oh, I might as well just jump off a cliff then.
This is what I'm doing today. I was like, oh, that's so embarrassing.
And then he saw my photo on the back of the book. It's your book.
How does it
Harder.
go again?
Because yours is...
And you pipe it and...
Yeah. He left me for a man. So...
What?
You're listening to the Pepper and Me podcast, Around the Dinner Table with Cherie, Cam and Lorne, where we chat all things food and business. Right, welcome back to Around the Dinner Table. Today we're here with some very special guests, not Lorne. We've got Darren and Michelle from Ashby Pies and Mint Cakery. If you're seeing my TikToks or the podcast TikToks, I'm sure you've seen their TikToks as well. So we're stoked to have you guys on board today. I was making the butter chicken last night and everyone said that you were coming and they were so excited. They're like, I hope he's coming on the podcast today. So
I know,
a lot of excitement.
Even my auntie Amy, she wanted a shout out, so I'll actually throw that right at the
there you
start.
go.
Get it right in there. But yeah,
Nice
she
work.
posted on my Facebook last night after seeing your story.
Cool, love it. Oh, that's amazing.
Love a good family post on a Facebook wall.
Yeah, so both of you have recently really taken off on TikTok, which is amazing, but you both had quite stable businesses for a very long time before that. So I feel like that's probably more important than what's happened on TikTok. Michelle, you opened Mint Cakery at 23.
Yeah. Well, should we do a little backstory?
Yeah, you guys introduce yourselves.
Yeah, cool. So, 8 years ago.
8 years ago.
Crazy, time flies. I can't believe it. So, yeah, I was going to markets, the Hobsonville markets for a little bit before then as well, just selling cakes and things.
Yep.
And then I've always wanted a shop, like always. So that was the next step. And so 22, looking for a shop to lease, found one in Point Chev, and then that's just kind of where it started, really. So
Yeah. We'd kind of just come back from Melbourne, right? Like we moved to Melbourne forever.
Yeah.
Michelle was there for a month, 2 months, and I was
Yeah.
there for just under a year.
Yeah.
And you had what, like 3 jobs in that time? Just didn't settle, eh?
So you guys met in Melbourne?
No, we were dating at the time, and moved there, and I got a job that I really, really liked, so I stayed. We did long distance for 8 or 9 months.
So we got together when we were like just turned 21.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because we missed each
Yeah.
other's 21st, so it would have been after that.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then, like, the first week we got to Melbourne, I was like, I don't want to be here. But I stayed for a couple of months.
Yeah.
But I actually think it was because I wanted a shop so badly, but people would be like,
Wasn't
oh,
gonna
it's too
happen in
young.
Melbourne.
Yeah, but I was kind of like, maybe this will just put it off for a bit so I can like have fun in Melbourne.
Yeah.
And then,
So that drive was always there from the start. That's
Yeah.
obviously been a force field. That's cool. So you came back and then you...
I stayed in Melbourne for a bit, and then so after 8 or 9 months, I moved back, and Michelle quit her job then and then, and we had no money, nothing like that. I was actually still had to buy my car back off my parents and all of that. Oh, yeah. And then Michelle was going to markets, and we were going to the Mount Albert market, and a customer from the market found a little shop in Point Chev, and it was 20 square meters, so it's smaller than a
literally
business.
like a car park.
It was originally a tram office, like a ticket office for the old tram stops on the corner of Meola Road and Point Chev Road.
That's cool.
And
was cool.
It was really, really cool. And so we leased that and jumped into it. And it was meant to be just Michelle, and I was going to get another job and, go about my career, and Michelle was going to do her cake shop, and it was going to be just her, no staff, nice and small. And that lasted about a week before we decided that I had to be in it full time as well.
Yeah. So what's your background before that? Is anyone a trained chef or baker, or where did the food passion come from for both of you?
Yeah, so my mum liked baking and things, but not really.
Yeah.
I don't know where it came from.
Yeah.
And same with the business side, it's just something in my brain that's wired differently.
Yeah.
And for fun, in high school, I'd literally make business plans. I don't know why. And cost things out, and it's funny.
Yeah.
I love that.
We've
Yeah.
still got some of them.
Yeah. Oh, that one I sent you last week. It was 2016 is going to be a big year for Mint Cakery. I was like, oh, that's so embarrassing.
Oh, that's incredible.
So
Yeah.
cool to see
I
that
love
drive
it.
from way back then.
Yeah.
And it's actually funny, though, because we didn't have any money, obviously. And, looking at the budgets I had done, they were pretty spot on. We didn't really, So, I
sales
was
were
getting the
very wrong.
figures.
The
the sales were wrong.
But the budgeting of what we were actually planning to
Spend,
open with
yeah.
was right. Yeah.
I remember the first day we opened, we turned over $600. I was like, wow, $600. That's so good. If we do this every day, then we might be able to pay our rent and pay our food bills.
Yeah.
So, I'm just a self-taught baker.
Yeah. Cool.
And Yeah.
with a business drive. That's amazing.
Yeah.
What about you?
Yeah, mine's a bit more classical. So I left high school 17 and went to Queenstown.
Yeah.
And I was working at a restaurant there called Saffron for 18 months, as well as doing my apprenticeship in Cromwell. And then I spent another 18 months at Rata when it first opened, and
cool.
moved back from Queenstown from there. And the last Auckland job I had was a restaurant called Clooney, which is now closed, but I was at Clooney for a couple of years as
Wow,
well.
I went there. I thought it was incredible.
Yeah.
Just name dropping all these places.
name dropping.
Oh, no,
Yeah.
those,
Get
are great,
it.
those are great restaurants. Yeah, amazing. That's a quite high up training to then move to making pies.
Yeah, I love it. Though. It's nice.
But that's where
puts
these
context,
incredible flavours come from. Like,
Yeah.
yeah.
And like the whole fine dining environment, and I think it's changed a bit now, but that whole environment was a little bit toxic. Like it was quite hard and like results driven, and massive hours for no return of pay, no quality of life. You'd be, if someone called in sick, you'd be expected to be there. And we just wouldn't expect that now from our staff. We would.
Way.
Yeah, and so there's this expectation and pressure and stress, even on, I was quite young in these roles, and even then it was just so much. I much prefer the quality of life the baking brings and all of that.
And all of that, you were also like under 21 as well.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
like fit a lot in before then.
You really did. Yeah, I guess I did too. That's probably quite similar to my background. You kind of go hard when
Definitely.
you're young, and then you're like, this is actually probably not for me.
Yeah, I couldn't imagine doing
Can you
this.
imagine it now? Like,
Oh, absolutely not. Like, I do 5 hours. I'm exhausted.
Yeah, I couldn't imagine 30 years of that. No way.
Yeah, there's no way. Yeah, 12 hours on your feet, like at least non-stop. Like,
Split shifts,
Breaks
man. Even that word just like would
meals.
trigger you.
Even some mornings it was, so at Clooney, even some mornings it was foraging. So I'd be up at 7, 8, 9 in the morning, and we'd go out getting seaweeds and,
Yeah.
you have to do that
herbs
though,
and-
or was that just part of the fun?
No, we didn't. It was part of the fun, but like, is it really fun? It was really fun at the time. But you would start that early, and then you'd go back to the restaurant and you'd process all the stuff, and you'd feel great about it. But you wouldn't really get any thanks for it. You wouldn't really, you looking back, you do feel a bit underappreciated on that work you put in for someone else's dream and for someone else's, passion and all of that sort of thing. And then you're there till 10, 11, 12 at night, and the boss will shout you one beer and you can pay for your second one. It's not really, it's not really rewarded.
no, yeah. I guess it sets you up beautifully, though, to run a business and have that consideration for staff, because that's always at the back of my mind.
Like being on the other side of
Being
it.
on the other side of it, yeah. And you really understand both sides of the coin, like, 'cause sick days, having 10 sick days, I'm like, God, as a business owner, you're like, oh, I might as well just jump off a cliff then. Pay everyone 10 sick days? No,
Yeah.
thank you.
I think I said I don't think I've used 10 in my whole life.
But then as a mother and someone who's worked in that environment, you're like, oh, well, it would have been nice to have been able to take a sick day.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Oh, cool. Well, that's awesome. So you guys obviously were together, and then what happened?
Oh, well, so was it a year and a half into the Point Chef shop?
Not even that. I think we
Maybe a
started
year.
looking after about 6, 8 months.
Yeah. But see, I don't know what you think about it, but I was like, one of us would be crying every day.
Yeah, pretty much.
Like in the shop. Being like, we hate this.
Yeah.
And then like a solution was opening a second shop. So we didn't have to be in each other's faces all the time. I don't know if you agree with me or not.
It worked because
Like,
even
get out of here.
that brief period where we sold Table Talk and only had Mint, it was back to that where I hated being there because I was
Yeah.
in your space.
Yeah.
And so that was during lockdown as well, and I felt like I had to do front of house all day because it was a cake shop and your stuff was really, really
Yeah.
important. And then I would stay late to make all the pie fillings, and I was like, why am I doing this? Like, why am I staying late? And
Yeah.
but it was like just the nature of where the business was and what the shop was and all of that sort of thing.
So our solution was a second shop, really. That's how we've always kind of ended up with two.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then that you
Yeah.
took hold of that and
Yeah.
in a savoury direction.
yeah.
So that was Table Talk.
It was pretty much a savoury version of what Mint was. So we did a whole lot of sandwiches, and like they were delicious. I'm glad we don't do them anymore, but they were delicious. And started doing pies and really working on that. And like the first few months, they probably weren't very good. Like they were nice, but we definitely learned really quickly. I'd never made a pie before. It was kind of just straight into it and
Yeah,
see
but
how we
see,
go.
I remember like the first time eating the beef chicken cheese pie and like being like, I'm never ever going to get sick of this. This is delicious.
Yeah.
But now Oh yeah, they're still delicious.
It's
They're
fine
even
now,
better.
but I did when we opened Ashby. I didn't put them on the menu initially because just the smell of it was putting me off because I'd made so many of them.
Right.
We
I was
ate
like-
so many pies. Oh my god.
Wow. So you sold Table Talk and then opened Ashby.
Between that, we also moved Mint, and this
To Ellerslie.
and this was probably the main pressure on our relationship, and probably what was the end of that was we still had Point Chev, and we opened Ellerslie, which is like three
Yeah,
times
now
the
as
size,
well. Like, that's
and
where we
that's
are
where
now.
Mint still is, and it's a great little shop. The rent's really really reasonable, and it's a beautiful little shop. Heaps
Cool.
of parking out the front, tucked around a corner, suburban, but also a little bit commercial area and. Really good. So at one stage we had 3 shops, and the poor Point Chev shop kind of just got neglected because neither of us were there.
Yeah.
So I was at Table Talk, Michelle was at Ellerslie,
Yeah.
and we would ship food over in our own cars. So we'd have to put pressure on the staff to be like, all right, 6:15 we have to leave, otherwise the traffic's building.
Yeah,
And,
yeah.
In saying that, we could probably do it now, but we were like 25, 3 stores,
Yeah.
logistical nightmare.
Yeah.
Like working 24/7.
20 to 25 staff as well,
Yeah.
like 7 days.
Yeah, working every single day, no time off, and it was just like, what's the point?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
this is not fun.
And then that coupled with the Table Talk had the apartment upstairs, and so we were living in the apartment upstairs. And what we actually did is about 3 months before we broke up, we moved into a flat because we were like, well, maybe if we don't live at work, like we'll have a bit more time for each other and all that sort of thing. And then
Away from work, yeah.
yeah, and basically our relationship became just work, and so like I guess
Yeah.
that hasn't changed. It's just that we don't live together anymore. Like the romantic side of the relationship was long before that. It was just faded, didn't really happen.
Yeah.
Well,
Well, it makes sense, doesn't it?
And and because we ended up just like working together, so when we broke up, like nothing really changed except we like, like
moved into a different room.
We had the opportunity because when we did break up is when we sold Table Talk, so we had the money to like separate
Properly
amicably,
split.
no
Yeah.
problem, no dramas. And we actually
For like
did that.
2 months.
We did that for like I thought it was only like 2 weeks.
maybe,
But
probably.
we actually did that for a brief period.
Wait, I got like a back of a receipt and I was like, wrote on it like Michelle owns like Mint Cakery, like made him sign it.
The business mind coming out. This is on paper.
That was the transaction, and I was like, what is this?
Okay, so you
Imagine
did that,
safe.
and then you're like, well, it actually, you kind of need each other, and
Well, then we started looking for something so we were going to do one each, right? Because we looked at that shop in, was it like near Greenwood's Corner? Remember that one, and it's right next to that other pie shop? Remember looking at that one?
No.
Can't remember.
He always
the area.
does this.
Epsom?
He'll say things that like we've done. I'm like, nah, I got no recollection of this.
She's got a bad memory. So we did look at a shop, and it was going to be sort of like Michelle was just going to help me get it open, and it was going to be mine, and then the other one was going to be hers, and it just worked out to be a lot cleaner and easier if everything was just 50-50 and all of that.
But then
Didn't
we
happen.
found no. So then the shop in St Heliers, which is now Ashby.
And that was a lot bigger too. It would have been
Yeah.
it would have been a lot for one of us to take on at the time. Like
Yeah.
it was quite a big site. 'Cause
Yeah.
that one's twice the size of Ellerslie as well. It's about 130 square meters, and
Yeah.
it was a full refit because it used to be a dairy.
But
yes,
see,
I
yeah.
did say that. Yeah.
I think we're good for different things though. That's like how I'm doing all of the behind the scenes things
Yeah.
and, like sorting business stuff. You're the friendly face.
Interesting.
then-
yeah.
So yeah.
But you both obviously are very talented at making what you sell as
Yeah.
well. It's quite amazing to me to hear all that backstory and then and you for you to have that huge success without I guess that behind the scenes social media presence. It's quite incredible.
Yeah.
And this I guess
We-
like now you have moved forward into that space.
Yeah. We just didn't have time either, like
Yeah.
to do anything on social media.
Yeah.
We couldn't be bothered. Like we were busy enough, we were tired enough.
Yeah.
But now I guess the older we're getting, we're trying to be a bit smarter for once.
I think TikTok
So-
suits us too. You
Oh,
said said
yeah.
that the other day that
Totally.
the short format video and the I'll say low effort. And it's not really low effort, but the low effort of the editing and putting together of a really successful video and all of that is good for us. Whereas the Instagram consistent posting and like organizing pretty photos and writing about them and all of that is
Yeah.
Even, a
Not
couple
my
of
skill
years ago,
set.
when people would be like, hey guys, like, this is what I'm doing today. I was like, oh, that's so embarrassing.
Yeah.
Like,
Interesting, yeah, because you're right in that sense. I think TikTok's a lot more forgiving if you drop off for a week or two, whereas Instagram seems to punish you if you drop off
Yeah.
and you don't post, or like the consistency doesn't matter as much.
Yeah.
I don't
The
think.
incredible thing about TikTok is it's showing you videos people don't follow you, no idea who you are. Whereas Instagram, you need to like hunt those followers down.
Yeah.
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 Whereas like you're just opening this massive door to the world with TikTok if
Yeah.
you can get it right. But then half of the world is unfortunately kind of assholes
Yeah.
at the same time.
And I think that comes down to TikTok spreads you worldwide, I think, from the get-go.
Yeah.
Whereas Instagram's way more localised.
And it
So
is.
I
It's
think-
completely anonymous. Like
Yeah.
like half of those, you know.
Yeah.
For sure.
They're
That's
all
interesting though, because
no-face.
my TikTok following is like 75 or 80% New Zealand.
Yeah.
Because the rest of the world doesn't know what a pie is.
And that might be your
True.
following, but your views, I bet your views
And
are...
most of my views too.
Oh,
I was
really?
I was
Interesting.
looking at it with because I've just signed up for like an agency representation
Oh, yeah,
and
and so
stuff.
they're pulling the...
And he was looking through at the analytics. He's like, you don't see that really with TikTok because of how their algorithm works. But it's because like the rest of the world doesn't know what a pie is. So it's but that's kind of cool. Like I think that's a good thing.
Yeah.
I think it's a good thing. It's a good thing for both of us, or all of us, because we're trying to sell a product at the end
Yeah.
of the
Yeah.
day.
And see, that's how it started actually, because I self-published my cookbook.
Yes.
And I was going to go through a publisher. This was in 2021, so my boy was 5 months old, and he started going to bed at 6:30 in the evenings, and like he had this real like good sleep
Sweet
time, and I was like, what am I going to do with all the spare time?
Write a
But the
book.
thing is, it only lasted for like a month, so I was screwed. Like he was the worst sleeper, and he's still pretty bad. But I was going to use a publisher, but they were like, it's going to take 2 years, so it won't be out until 2023. I
Yeah.
was like, oh, that's ages. Like,
can do
no
that faster.
way. Yeah.
And when did you
here we
release
are.
it?
So it actually worked really well. But when we were doing, I used like everyone minus the publisher. Like with social media, you don't even need a publisher anymore. But
Very interesting. I just don't think I could ever have the.
You just wouldn't do it.
yeah,
I just
see,
can't pull everything together. I think.
that's the part I liked. I liked
Right.
pulling it all together, and now it's out. I'm like, I don't want to say it, but I'm kind of like sick of it now. But now I should be like promoting it the most.
Yes.
But anyways, so when we were doing all of the photography, I was like, we don't use social media for our businesses. No one knows our faces. Who's going to buy this book?
Yeah,
And
yeah.
so that is literally
What
the
made
only
you
reason.
start?
And then I started posting TikToks. They started getting traction. And Darren's like, don't leave me behind.
It wasn't even that blunt. It was you saying you should do a video like this.
Yeah.
And I
Yeah.
was like, all right, I'll give it a go. And then first one, bang, it was like 200,000 views. And I was like,
Yeah.
awesome.
I went back to like your first couple of videos as
Yeah.
well, because I was like, I wonder, most people start off with random like videos of their dogs and pets and all
Yeah.
that sort of crap, and then slowly figure out your way. It's like you guys were straight into like, you had obviously done a bit of research into what works and knew based off of, I guess, what
Yeah.
you did, and went,
Yeah.
yeah, this works, do this.
So you notice our videos will be kind of similar. It's because I'll post something and then Darren's like, I'm going to do that.
Yeah,
Yeah, like literally.
yeah.
Oh, interesting. I hadn't really put that together, but I guess we were all just following like the set. Like this is what you do in the day, or
Yeah.
this is me making this. Or,
Yeah.
here's this and trying to.
I don't know what happened to, like, my shame just went out the window. I don't care.
Talk
Like,
to Lorne about that. He's the same. All my friends say that.
yeah.
Like once you just get on a roll,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
just go.
I could not care what anyone was thinking, or like I
Yeah.
just do what I want. And then
The
you're the
weird thing
same,
is getting
really.
recognized. The weird thing is getting recognized and how to react to that. That's sometimes like,
Yeah.
bit
Someone will
funny.
be like, I see you on TikTok, and I'm like, oh, thanks. It's like not the right thing to say. It's like,
they
okay.
didn't say they like it. Like,
You might have been crap.
And then I get all weird, and then people ask you for photos all the time.
oh yeah.
It's like the
people ask-
Warriors look.
And they come into the shop and ask for photos with me and things like that. And I was
Yeah.
like, it's exhausting being a celebrity. Eh?
Isn't it funny? Yeah, Lorne's the same. Like you didn't even put your face on for years, and then you started doing a couple, but you were super awkward.
Yeah.
And then now everyone's like, oh, look at Lorne. He just
Yeah.
really loves
You
the
have
camera,
to-
doesn't he?
You just have to. I can't watch anything back. So
Yeah,
like even
I
these
see that too.
podcasts, I
I'm
can't
the
edit
same.
them, can't watch them,
Yeah.
can't like skip the TikToks, like
Yeah.
everything, because I'm like can't listen to my own voice, can't watch it, like. But now I'll happily just go down and do a story. But like I'll do a story and I'll like just hit go and I won't watch it again. Like, nah, I can't watch it again, but I'll do it, whatever. Like it's an interesting thing, but you see how it works, eh? And so I guess you just have to. Sort of
Yeah,
put that
anyone
aside
who
and go,
asks me, how do I do that? I'm like, you literally actually just have to do it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Don't watch it, do it, post it,
Yeah.
you're done. And once you've taken that first step, you're off you go on
Just
your way.
go.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's like when I was like doing the videos in the beginning, I would literally be like, oh, I'm going to need to put my face in this. And then I'd just like do a little clip or whatever to be like, people need to know my face. People need to know your face.
It sounds funny, but like the positive reinforcement helps it too. Like when someone, like if you send it to your friends and they're like, oh, that's really good. Or, you know,
that's
like
not
if
me.
someone comments
We
and
have
it's like,
different personalities and that.
I'm like, I love it. As soon as someone tells me it's good, I'm like, oh, sweet, I'll do another one.
You want to pat them back.
100%.
And then if someone says that to me, I'm like, stop.
It's so funny.
Interesting. I love, like, you must love seeing your stuff get recreated, though, your recipes get made, or being, like, tagged.
I don't know.
No?
When they're good, when they're
yeah.
on the plane on the way down, we had someone message about a recipe, and it's a recipe we use in the shop every day. And the email came across as like, the recipe's wrong.
Yeah.
And we're
And like
oh,
the
not
vanilla
sure.
cake recipe, we literally use it every single day. And someone was like, I tried this and 20
Didn't
grams
work.
of baking powder is too much. It's disgusting. It's like, we literally do this every day. And it's delicious. Like, shut up.
Yeah.
I think that's a you problem.
Yeah. And it's like, why do people even comment? Like, just say, if you don't like the recipe, like, you probably suck at baking and just like move on or try again. I don't want to hear
What
it.
if they
It's hard
watch
with
this?
I hope they hear it. It's
Baking.
hard with baking because there's so much like
Yeah.
you have to
Has to be-
be
has to be
that's
spot
what it
on.
is with baking. Whereas like all my recipes are so like God, I change them every blooming time.
Yeah.
And I
Same.
hope that
It's-
everyone who cooks them changes them
Yeah.
a little bit every time.
And
too.
see, that's what I find though is people don't have flexibility. You know, I'll take one base recipe and put in a whole heap of different flavors and it's
Yes.
different. But
Yeah.
say if you're doing like a savory dish and there's like coriander or in it, and people will be like, "Can I switch out the parsley, the coriander for parsley?" It's
Yeah,
like, of
yeah.
course you can.
Don't
Why
ask
are you
me
even
for
asking
permission.
me?
yeah, what if
Yeah.
what do I do if I don't like olives?
Yeah. Yeah.
But it's so surprising how people need that. People
Yeah.
need to ticket list
Yeah.
stuff. Like
Yeah.
they need to
Like, what if you
follow a
said no?
recipe for sure. And the amount of questions that we get on all of our recipes is crazy.
But the thing is, I think you just have to learn that that's what people want from you.
Yes.
So that's what I've
that.
got to give them.
Yep.
Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's not
I
what
can't- we can't expect, and we often, that same learning.
We have
There's a lot
troubles
of-
as well because Shree will make something on Instagram stories or TikTok or whatever, and she'll be saying the recipe, and it'll be like, add 1 teaspoon of this, and then clearly tip in like 3 tablespoons, and then and it's just you're sitting there watching it, and you're just like,
I just do it on purpose now. You should just start saying like
You should.
2 mils of whole.
2
Do you know,
tablespoons.
I did
of
have
cream
a
for
funny
the-
thing when I was in Queenstown doing an event a couple of weeks ago, and we cooked some food from the Together book, and there's a chocolate cremo tart in there, and they had a new chef at the place I was doing at the event, and they'd given him my book and said, "Cook this tart. Can you make this tart for tomorrow night?" I said I'd come in later and do the savoury if someone could get the tart ready and set for the evening. And I walked in there. He's trying to finish the tart, and he's going. I was like, "Hi," and he obviously hadn't put anything together. He's making this. He's like, "This is a shit recipe." And just carrying us. It's so dry, and like, it took him like I just stood there real quietly, like chipping him away. It makes no sense. And then he's like, "Oh," and then he saw my photo on the back of the book. He was like, "Is this your book?" I was like, "Yep." He's like, "Oh, well, it's actually good. It's come together now." But
And did it? How was it?
it was perfect. He'd times it by 4 though, so we needed 4, and it said 4 large eggs, and he'd used 4 small eggs. I'm like, well, if you're doing 4 of the recipe, then you probably need another egg. And he had. He'd figured it out eventually that he needed a bit more to bind his pastry. But it was perfect. It's great. It's a sensational recipe, if I
Yeah.
do say so myself. So.
It's just the initiative you could never write in a recipe. You know,
Yes.
but like that's just how it is.
Yeah.
You just have to suck
It
it.
is hard because some stuff you can flex with, some stuff you can't flex with. Like some strong flavors that if you don't get it right in cooking, your whole dish is gonna taste like cinnamon or something. Like you know what
Yeah.
I mean? Like you kind of just have to use your
I think it's
common
just,
sense,
I
but
think
that might not be that common.
what our goal at Pepper and Me is, right, to empower people to feel confident to give it a go.
Yeah.
So that's our whole purpose, is to make them be like, I'm going to try that. I maybe
Gonna
don't
wing it.
I don't quite have it. I'm going to give it a go to wing it. That's what we want to do. We want them to feel confident and maybe going a bit of that and a bit of this. So
As long as you learn, right? Like if it's too cinnamony the first time, don't go and put the same amount of cinnamon in next
Yes.
time. Just tone it back, try something else.
hopefully,
Or message us for support and we'll tell you what to do.
hopefully.
Alright.
The pie thing. Like, do you reckon that was pies your thing before you did the first video on TikTok, or is it now you did the first video, you're like, this is going to work, and now you're the pie man?
Little bit of both. I've been threatening for a couple of years to do away with the sandwiches at Ashby and turn into just a pie shop and
Right.
strip it right back.
Okay.
We always said, oh no, it's not going to work for the business. You know, we make so much money off sandwiches. We do this
we've
many
never said that.
sales. And yeah,
Nah,
definitely.
no way.
Yeah, I always
Sandwiches don't
counted.
make- nah.
Not necessarily make money, but make sales. And so
Make sales
started
to
this
maybe
year.
hopefully pay the bills.
Yeah, started this year. My manager was on extended holiday in January, and then my only other chef at the time had COVID the first week we were due back. So I was two staff down, and we were already like quite understaffed because that was right when the big hospo shortage and all of that sort of thing was on too.
Yeah.
And so so with that I was like, okay, cool. Well, we're just going to do just pies this week and see how it goes. And with that was when I did the beef stroganoff video that went really, really big at the start of the year, and it was a lot more in depth of the pie videos I did last year.
Yeah.
And so at that moment, it was like, okay, cool, let's just do pies
Really?
and turn it into.
What about the salami sandwich story?
That was just for TikTok. That was for the skills. That was when we did. Yeah, that was when I had COVID last year. The story Michelle's talking about is I got COVID end of last year, and this is when I first started making videos, and I got sent a chicken from Countdown by accident for hashtag ad.
I literally just said countdown delivery, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was just a mistake order.
Throw in the bag chicken.
But it was it was a chicken. So I was like, okay, cool. I'll do a video on how to like break it down, and then I'll use each of the different parts for a different dish. And so some of them were like quite skill based and quite skill focused.
Yeah.
I asked Michelle if she liked them. She's like, oh yeah, actually sometimes I forget you're more than just a salami sandwich. and that comment stuck.
Yeah, you got
as
like,
well, so-
all like, huh.
Yeah, and so that stuck as well. And so from there we turned into just a pie shop, and even in the next little while we're probably going to trim back lots of the baking we do as well, and get rid of the scones, get rid of the muffins. And there's such a small percentage of what we do now. I'd much rather just put more time into the thing we're
pies.
selling out of
Yeah.
every day.
Well,
you know?
that's what people are coming to you for now,
Yeah.
aren't they? The pies.
Yeah, exactly.
And like the fillings are skilled. Like
They are.
It's not-
They are. They're,
Well, they've got that
they're
chef background for
absolutely
sure,
Yeah.
don't
skilled.
they? It's
Yep.
not
You
a-
can 100% tell.
and seeing that video of him like breaking down the chicken, I was literally like, oh my gosh, like forgot you can cook. Like instead of making like all these stupid bacon egg bats and stuff. And then it had been like some pressure being like, drop the sandwiches, and it's like the best thing ever, right?
So good.
God, I'd love to see what you do in a sando shop though. You just
Yeah.
take, like you take those fillings, those meats, those sauces, those cheeses, those bechamels, and put
Yeah.
it in a sandwich.
That's the only thing though, because sandwiches are like in fashion at the moment.
They are very
Like,
in fashion.
Your sandwiches were delicious, but that was before we were doing social media and like before they were in fashion.
You
And
need a
even
new
doing the
shop. You
fried-
need another sandwich shop now.
Yeah, maybe one day. Maybe one day. The fried chicken sandwich I used to do every Saturday were real fun. I would
delicious.
kind of just sort of go around the world with it as well and do like different types of fried chicken and thing. But they were all cabinet style. They weren't made to order. They were all, cabinet style, and like so that had to be a consideration when we made them as well. But
And we're MSG fans.
yeah,
Nice.
it was all
Good to
MSG
know.
all the time.
Perfect. We talked about MSG last week on
Yeah,
the podcast, so
yeah.
that's probably not out yet.
It is.
Yeah,
Oh,
listen this
Oh,
morning.
did
Yeah,
you? Oh,
listened this morning,
perfect.
yeah.
Oh, good. Excellent. Yeah, I'm a big fan. Oh, cool. So what's your best thing what's your favourite cake to eat, and what's your best thing that you make in eyes of other people, do you reckon?
Oh, I feel like we're actually mostly known for our donuts rather than cakes.
Okay.
So I'm sick of making donuts though.
Are you?
Yeah, I feel like they're going out of fashion a bit now too.
Yeah.
I don't know. But I recently made like a jam donut inspired cake. I was like, this is the most delicious thing I've made recently.
Yeah.
But couldn't sell it because it's like, fresh cream and fresh raspberries. It's too expensive and it doesn't last long. So
Interesting. That
Yeah.
sounds incredible.
Yeah,
I'm
and
definitely not a donut person, but all your cakes look incredible. The mini loaf, like the lemon blueberry things.
Yeah.
Oh, the cakes look incredible.
and see, that's why I'm enjoying like Instagram and TikTok and stuff, because like I can make all these recipes. And so that's why I kind of want to move more into like content and videos and teaching, because we can make all the stuff that can't actually sell or wouldn't be viable to sell.
For sure.
So it's definitely fun. But yeah, anything with like, I love like fresh raspberries, like anything like super tangy. I'm definitely like addicted to sugar. Like I'm a savory person, but I'm addicted to sugar.
Okay.
Like my palate is wild, but yeah, anything with like real tart and then like real sweet as well, like real intense. It's like my thing.
Okay. Like that. Yeah. What about yours? What's
my
your
favourite thing
yeah?
that
What your
Michelle
favourite
makes.
pie? Your favourite
my favourite
pie
pie.
is the beef and blue cheese. Yeah.
No, my favourite pie is the chicken, mushroom, and parmesan.
Oh, that's right, I
Because
did
it's
see
got
that.
so much parmesan in it. It's like seasoned with parmesan, so it's
Yes.
super salty and rich and
Creamy chicken,
yeah.
mushroom
There's
parmesan.
heaps of miso and soy all over the mushrooms, and
See that?
I love the breakfast pie.
yeah, I don't really like eggs.
Yeah, but see, that's why I like it, because it's not an eggy one.
Yeah, that's true. You get like 3/4 of an egg per pie in total. Like it's a tray of 15 is only 9 eggs.
How do you do the breakfast pie?
So it's hash browns, relish, bacon, bechamel, which keeps it nice and like moist. And saucy, mozzarella. Is that it? I think so.
yum.
Cream and egg. So it's
Yeah.
just a
Bacon
100,
sauce.
100 mils of cream to 1 egg.
Yes.
Salt, pepper, and
Is
then
there whole eggs in it? No,
No.
perfect. See, that would be my dream.
I actually wanted to cancel whole eggs and bacon egg pies.
I've just been destroyed on TikTok for making
made a
a
quiche.
bacon and egg pie without. No, I put like
Oh,
3
you
whole
put
eggs
like
in it.
one.
And I
Yeah,
did-
just call it a quiche.
It was a bacon and egg pie without rock hard.
Chalky.
That's the issue.
So,
Yeah.
so for like a bacon and egg pie, I still think it needs whole. But I think in a pie like
Breakfast pie.
I think that's fair. That's fair. Because if you got a mouthful of like just yolk, yeah.
Chalky, awful, dry.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's exactly the same.
The
as a
worst.
large size pie.
No, I don't know. There's something about
Okay.
it.
Oh, that sounds amazing. I was just thinking all morning about like pie fillings and like, but I don't know all the ones you do. So, what about like a caprese chicken pie with like, kind of like like baked tomato, roasted tomatoes with heaps of basil through it, and maybe like you need a base, so like a creamy chicken, and then just big fat chunks of mozzarella.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, that'd be yum.
You could just
Yeah.
do like the tomato sauce, like similar to the one I do for like the
Yes.
meatball pie.
True.
Would still hold the chicken up. You could even put
Yeah.
like lots of like capers and sun dried tomatoes and
Yeah,
stuff would go
make
well
it
through
real,
it. Give it a salt kick.
Yum, that sounds great. And then what about like an eggs Benedict pie? But then that's the same as your
The breakfast one.
yeah, because I was trying to think about that, and I'm like, oh, I wouldn't want a whole egg in a pie unless you just like.
Because then it's logistics of like keeping it
It's
in the
so
warmer
much
as well.
logistics.
Yeah.
So much
There was a way I could keep it loose as well because like even the I could imagine what's even the sauce on these minute? I forgot hollandaise.
Hollandaise.
Even the it just disappeared. Even the hollandaise would probably
Sit up.
scramble in that temperature.
It would
wouldn't-
split.
You'd
yeah.
have to.
Someone does a eggs Benedict donut down south, and I don't know quite how they do it, but I think you get a syringe of hollandaise on the top
yeah,
and like
like
crispy
right.
bacon
Donk
on
it
the
in.
donut. Yeah,
Interesting.
yeah, I remember trying it
Like
years
a
ago. I was
stuffed
like, this
donut
is
with a
interesting.
syringe, but
But even those
pie
people
with a syringe.
that do like the fried chicken burgers in the donuts, I don't know.
I reckon that would be all right if done well because like the sweetness with the salty, spicy would.
Yeah.
It's like
too
fried
much.
chicken
It's,
waffles, right?
yeah.
Like with
Who
candy,
is it?
chili
There's
and
a
stuff like
person
that.
on K Road that does
Sneaky
it.
Snacky?
Sneaky Snacky, yeah, and you can get them in the
In a
donut.
donut bun. Yeah, I've not tried it, but I think it would be nice.
And then they're either glazed or not glazed, so it's almost like a savoury donut, and then you can add the sugar.
I think if you're going
glaze
to do
on
it, you may as well. If
I
you're going
did.
to do it, you
I've
may as
had
well.
it. I
Yeah.
added the sugar.
Was it good?
Well, the girls went and got it for me, and then I went out for some drinks and didn't come back, and I didn't eat it till next morning.
Perfect. Perfect at 5 o'clock in the
Yeah,
morning.
yeah. So it was actually
Classic.
great, but I think I needed the whole experience.
You probably needed it fresh.
Yeah. Okay, we'll do quick fire. What's some of your favourite food spots in Auckland? What's the best burger in Auckland?
Oh, you go.
The best one I've had recently was from Urbanaut Brewing. They do smash burgers and stuff there.
Yep.
So good.
heard of that.
So yum.
I'm so out of touch because I'm just at home with like my toddler.
Yeah.
Oh, favorite burger? I don't know.
I'm a big fan of Peaches as well. Peaches for fried chicken.
Yeah, Peaches is
I
good.
haven't tried that. I went to Parade, and I think that's my, I loved that.
I haven't been there yet. I do want to go to Parade.
Yeah, great pretzel buns. What about dumplings?
Mr. Zhao's.
Yeah, Mr. Giles.
Yum.
I love Mr. Giles. It's in Mount
Dominion
Eden.
Road.
No,
Oh, yeah.
Mount Eden.
Yeah, but
Mount
isn't
Eden
it?
Road.
Oh, Mountain Road. Yeah,
Mountain
yeah,
Road.
yeah.
Okay.
So good. Oh,
They
their
do
sweet and sour pork.
Their
Oh,
sweet and sour pork. Oh, it's like
best thing.
big schnitzels.
Oh,
it's like
yum.
flat and crispy. So you
Yeah.
never get any of that
And it's
chewy
like
yuck.
super tender, heaps of like batter to pork ratio is
Yeah.
perfect. You know, like
Ooh,
it's
nice.
it's really good. And there's no pineapple or capsicum or anything. It's just a bit of onion and a nice sauce.
Nice.
Yeah.
Best.
I do love a bit of pineapple in a sweet and sour pork, but that's okay.
Yeah, that's meant to be there.
Yeah, exactly.
That's where it's, yeah. The best pizza.
Oh, I love slabs and Onehunga.
Or was that like the Detroit style?
Yeah, deep dish.
Oh, yum. Yeah.
It's delicious.
We've got one here, Readers, and I don't know why. I always want to go there, and I just never go there. I don't know why. I need to go there.
I just like Dante's. I think Dante's is perfect. So yum.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm also super into making pizza though, because I have like one of those unis at home.
Oh, yeah.
So,
A gas one or a wood one?
I guess one. I can't be bothered with the wood
Okay,
one.
we got a wood one and I hate it because
Yeah.
it's so much admin to try and get
Yeah.
it hot enough.
But
But
like-
Hayley, my wife, loves it.
I've got a
Oh,
big
yeah.
wood-fired pizza oven as well, and I think I've used it 4 times.
Yeah.
I've had it about 18 months. Just,
And then
just
even hearing
because,
your
again, lighting
wood
it.
Yeah.
dramas.
Yeah.
I just don't know if it's like even worth it.
Oh, but I had it nailed. Like from when I
Yeah.
got the oven, I just nailed it. I just don't know what's wrong. I think there might be something. It is very wet.
Yeah.
It must be too damp, right?
You just need to
But
light
surely
it
3
days
hours.
straight.
That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Keep
just,
it running.
but then it's just going to rain again for the next year.
Yeah.
Do you,
Do you have to cover them?
Yeah, you do, but do you?
I think it just
The cover
depends.
on yours?
I think it just.
It's just a little. It's a fabric cover.
I know, but it
not
covers the chimney still, and that's where all the water's going to
Right.
get into.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think I have it covered. I'm not sure.
Bricks are porous, right? So they'll hold a lot of
Heaps of moisture.
moisture.
Like
You've
so
probably
much
just gotta
more than
run
probably
it.
a 3 hour.
Probably just got to run it for 4 or 5 days.
Yeah.
But you can see, I know in mine when it's wet, you can see the moisture coming out of the
literally
bricks and stuff.
Floods out the bottom. And
Yeah.
I'm like, where's that water coming from?
Yeah, but see, were your bases cooked properly when you used it last?
Not the first time. Oh yeah, last time I used it was good. Actually, the last time I used it, I think was Christmas.
Yeah.
No, I must have used it after that, but I did full Christmas dinner and I did ham and
see.
clams and all of that.
Yeah.
The gas is just so easy.
Yeah.
It's like,
Yeah, I think you might have just solved my problem though, because I probably don't have the cover on it most of the time, to be honest. It's probably gotten too wet.
This is a very Cherie thing to happen though.
But dude, the wood's so expensive. Either that or I've just got something. So if I want to burn it for 4 days, it's literally going to cost me $10,000.
You don't have to use that wood. Come grab some like firewood from our house
Okay,
and
perfect. All right, problem
and
solved.
make sure you use
Excellent.
the cover. You don't need the
Love how
fancy wood.
we.
our landlord at the at Point Chef shop, he also owned a pizza shop next door, and he would get like the neighbours' like tree branches, anything.
Just throw it in there.
And
Spend
just
half his day driving around collecting wood off the side of the road.
and like the street would be full of smoke because he'd just burn anything and just make all these pizzas.
So it's probably not too flash, but yeah.
Does a job.
Interesting. Okay, cool. What's your favourite like treat, like best sort of fine dining or like treaty restaurant to go to in Auckland for a special night? You might have been stuck at
Ooh.
home with a.
I am actually going to Cassia on Sunday. They've just
yep.
moved to Sky City. But the last place I went a couple of weeks ago was Onslow. And you were like, you have to get the chocolate souffle, whatever you do. And I was like, this is disgusting.
You didn't like
No, I don't know.
Interesting, because I went to Onslow and I found the whole experience a little bit boring, apart from the souffle, which was fantastic.
Yeah. You love it though, right? Isn't it one of
well,
yours?
I've only been there once, but it did blow my mind. Yeah, I thought it was just clever. Like there was just clever stuff that I hadn't really seen much of before. Whereas sometimes I find that lots of other places are doing very similar
Yeah.
stuff.
I liked all the food apart from the souffle. I was like, I don't know if it was like a
must have
bit
got a bad
wrong.
one. You must have
It
got a bad
literally
one.
tasted like Nesquik and egg whites. I couldn't eat it. I was like, this makes me want to throw up.
The chicken liver parfait, did you have that? Because that
Nah,
was so they whip
pregnant.
it.
Yeah.
And when I tried that, I was like, it just like tripped me. I was like, what are they doing to this parfait? And I'm like, oh my god, they're
Well, what are they
literally-
doing?
they're
Because
whipping
yours
it.
is yum. And
They're
that's
whipping it.
probably a
I
Josh thing, right?
got an inside hack. Got someone to email one of the chefs there. And she's like, he asked me on a date once. I was like, well, you reply right now. And you're gonna tell him that you're newly single and you're going to go on a date with him with this parfait recipe.
So what was
Parfait.
what was the secret?
Well, it's literally a standard parfait, so pretty much the same as they do, but they take it out, whip it with a spatula, and like get it real nice and glossy, and then pipe it into the dish, and it's just like it goes from that
How does it
harder.
go again?
'Cause
You
yours
do it,
is-
and then you pipe it and
Yeah.
then
Yours is delicious. It's probably the same recipe.
It'll be the same recipe, but mine wasn't whipped. We used to set it as kind of like a terrine and cut
Yes.
little boats of it.
Yeah. So I've always done it like that, and it's great. It's
Yeah.
actually great, but that just like next level.
The livers
It's like
are
light and kind
the
of
livers are
juicy.
generally brined and medium rare as well. So they're not. That's what gives it that really nice richness, because it takes away that bitterness of an overcooked protein.
Yes.
So the livers they're not cooked so much. It's not like 100% for food safety procedures and all that sort of thing. But if it's a fresh product you're going through daily, it's fine.
Yeah,
So
sweet.
you wouldn't make it a week ahead and jar it up like a traditional.
no.
Oh, that would
Parfait.
stink. Imagine
Yeah.
having a week old parfait. Ugh.
But yeah, like it's a super fresh, super brined and well cooked livers, and yeah, going from there.
Ugh, delicious. Probably my favourite thing, I think.
Mine's a little bit embarrassing. Mine's soul bar. I've been to soul bar 3 times in the
That's
last
so
2 years,
basic
and
of
I
you.
used to be like, oh my god, everyone just goes to soul bar just to look. The food there's been so yum the
has
last
been
3 times.
so
Oh my God.
good.
So
Is it
good.
after they did the revamp? You know, like they.
Yeah, and when who was the chef who went there and he came from
Oh, Gareth Stewart.
Really, really good.
I don't think he's there anymore though.
I agree with you. I almost don't like going there because everyone who sits around there, they're like it's just such a place to be. But the food is actually, every time we've been, the food's been superb.
Yeah.
See, I love Depot though. It's such a classic.
I love Depot
You can't
too.
beat it.
Yeah.
Yeah, Depot's great, actually.
I also really like Got You. Have you been to Got You up in Commercial Bay?
I loved Got You. I love the milk bun.
Oh, so good with the
So
beurre
good.
blanc you pour over the top.
Pour the beurre blanc. Oh my god,
Yum.
yeah. That'd have to be like when you think of a dish that defines a place, and then they creep to the top of you can define Auckland by like top 20 dishes. Or it used to always be the blueberries pork belly bao bun because they were like the first ones who did it, like what 15, 16, 17 years ago, and then I reckon that would be one of the dishes.
Yeah, yum.
Yeah. Now.
I forgot about blueberries.
Yeah.
I guess it just takes long, right? Like
Yes,
there's so many.
yeah.
Well, I remember actually when that was their thing, I remember the jokes it's particularly amongst kitchens that were sort of more headed was like, well, actually, that's David Chang's dish that he did 10 years before them.
Yeah.
And that it was real funny that they were sort of, the first ones to do it in Auckland and took that fame on.
They
which
really did.
before social media and stuff was real cool and real clever and real...
Yeah, I guess it was just when word of mouth just spread and
Yeah.
you go to Ponsonby Central for a pork belly bao bun. It's amazing now because the trends probably just spread like wildfire as soon as you see something
Exactly.
on TikTok. So we usually do a segment every week about what's the best thing you've eaten this week. What's the best thing you've had on your plate? Did you want to do that?
Oh, I actually don't have anything from this week, but I do have. After watching actually the beef cheek pies, I went and got some beef cheek to barbecue. So I've got beef cheeks on the menu for this weekend. So
Smoke them.
yeah,
Do you like blue cheese?
no,
What sort of smoker did you get?
I've got a pellet.
cool.
Royal King grill
Yum.
thingamabob.
Yeah, he's a barbecue dad.
Yeah.
Getting into it, yeah.
Oh, I love it. I love low and slow. I've been looking for because I do mine all over charcoal and wood.
Yeah, you got the Weber, yeah.
And I've been kind of looking at pellet smokers to do pies on them and stuff.
Well, it's perfect for that kind of scenario because
it's just
you
the
just set
size.
temperature.
It's the size. Like if I could get one that was like, if I could get one I could fit 30 kilos of pork shoulder in, that would be cool.
Well, they must do them somewhere, or do you think all the other
Most of the other ones are wood fired,
Right.
and that's a skill that I would then have
Yeah.
to. Well, it's just a skill that I'd have to learn because I've never cooked
And then
anything
pass
on
it on
that
to
big,
your
and
chefs
then
and stuff,
pass it on. Yeah,
That's the most intricate of skills, I reckon.
Yeah.
I can't do it because I keep fiddling with it. I can't.
Yeah.
It's so hit and miss.
The hard thing is you have to light the fire ages before to let it kind of get ready and then mellow out, so you're not tweaking it, and when you're tweaking it, it's going like that hot and then that.
Well,
hot,
yeah. Every time I go
jumping
and
out.
open the air vent or just have a lift up to look like you up the
Yeah.
my temperature's doing
Yeah.
the same
It's
thing
all
up
over
down.
the
it's interesting because that's exactly what I like about it. I like that because
You
when
can
I'm
change it really quickly.
and when I'm cooking professionally, everything's somewhat to a recipe. I've got a plan and I've got a rigid structure of what I'm doing. But then when I'm cooking on a wood-fired barbecue at home, I love that I can be another hour, another half an hour, and you can just close the lid, come back, play around with it, glaze it if you want to, wrap it if you want to, and sort of have that flexibility a bit more.
Yeah. Pellets aren't cheap, which is the hard thing, comparatively, but it is in terms of easy, you tell your chefs, chuck it on 180, chuck them in there, and you can get pretty big ones, but yeah.
Did you guys have anything that you wanted to share that's been on your plate this week?
I liked those weird rice poppers at the food show a lot. The real
they were,
trashy supermarket freezer food. But there was, what was it called? Was it called
can't
Posh
remember.
Poppers?
Oh, they're just down the road
Are
there.
they? Delicious.
they're
So
so
yum.
yum.
What flavour?
I really liked the teriyaki chicken and rice one.
Yeah.
That was
Oh,
good. The baked camembert, but baked camembert, but it was still good.
Yeah.
That's good feedback. I did actually, we tried a box too and they were quite good.
Yeah.
Pleasantly surprised.
Yep.
Posh Poppers, yeah. I think they're trying to take on Leader Brand with
Yep.
the...
Oh, you
They were yum. They were
Yeah.
really, really yum.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I went to Depot by myself a couple of weeks ago.
Nice.
Ever since I've had a kid and being around everyone all the time, I love going out on
By
my
yourself?
own. Yeah, and it never happens. So I was actually trying to go to Gloria's, but I couldn't find a park on K Road.
Yeah.
It was 11:30. So I was like, oh, there's parking at Sky City. I'm just going to go to Depot. And the creepiest thing too is that I don't go on my phone, and I have a real bad resting bitch face. So if people see me, they're probably like, she's having the worst time. But I'm actually having the best time ever.
I'm so happy
Yeah.
sitting here by myself, not
Yeah.
looking
You're
at my
good
phone.
not going on your phone. What do you do?
I just stare at people.
People watch, yeah?
Yeah, and then I do end up watching the people working there and stuff. I'm like, you're what are you doing? Like,
I do love watching
Yeah.
people working. Yeah.
And everything I ate there was delicious. Like I had to wait. It must have been like, straight on 11:30 when lunch opened, and I got like a beef cheek dish, and then it was like a beetroot kind of side with like a whipped goat's chev. That's like my favourite thing. And like, it was
Our
delicious.
wholesale rep Ella came straight from Depot. She was chefing there.
Oh yeah.
And she's come to join us. So I've been trying to convince her to give up some of the recipes.
Oh yeah, I just love their skirt steak with the really, really crispy onions. Like, what do they
And the
do
mustard.
to those?
The mustard that he sells now as well. They have
Yeah,
it
and then
yeah,
the
that mustard's
iceberg and the
always
ranch,
been
like
really
it's
good.
just so delicious.
I think those onions, I think it's like soaked in milk and then it's like a trisol
Yeah.
flour.
I am excited for Cassia on Sunday though, because the homemade sauces that we tried at the food show,
Yeah.
Oh,
like,
cool.
that they do, it was
I want
delicious.
to go there since they've moved as well. It's
I can
cool.
come if you want.
And see. Oh yeah, maybe.
Okay.
And see see Mr. Morris is opening in Sky City now as well. Not Mr. Morris, Michael Meredith's new Pacifica restaurant.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
yes.
Yeah.
Cool.
Pacifica
That's cool.
Food's having a real resurgence. Well, not even a resurgence, a real surge.
think
Which
it's,
is really
yeah.
cool.
It is cool. That's
Yeah.
actually great. It'd be nice to see
People
some of
love
that.
like the culture and backstory and everything now. So
Nice little theme to something.
yeah.
So you've obviously met someone else and have a little boy and another one on the way.
I'm married.
married?
That's so weird. Yeah.
Ah, so that must have been pretty quick. Like,
Yeah. Yep.
yeah.
So-
how did that go down? I feel like
Well,
that's just what the listeners are going to want to know. Like,
Well, we broke up and like there was no Tinder was out, right?
Yeah.
We met through friends, but like Bumble was new, or maybe like
Oh, when we met, Tinder was like a secret. Like if you were on Tinder, it was
That
like
was
almost like
embarrassing.
shame, embarrassing kind of thing. Like it
Yeah.
wasn't. We wouldn't even really tell your friends you were on a day. Yeah.
But we met the old school way through friends.
Yeah.
But then when we broke up, like Bumble was like there, and I was like, I want to go on it. And I actually I told you, I was like, I'm going to go on Bumble. Do you remember me saying
Yeah,
that?
yeah.
Yeah, and then anyways, I wasn't
Did you write a
planning on
contract on it too?
like, he said, yes, this is all
Can you
right.
sign this piece of paper?
Yeah. And then so he, like my husband Jordan was the only person I talked to. I didn't want to be in a relationship straight away. I was like, yes, this is like, I'm going to have a break.
yeah.
And
yeah.
then, no, I went on a date with him like the next week, and then we started going out, and now
Now you're married.
kid, another kid. I
Oh my gosh.
know.
Wow.
So yeah, and then I don't know how it happened, but
So no animosity, obviously, like
Nah.
never any issues, no like.
I was very happy being single. How long was I single
Yeah.
for? 2 years, probably.
that long? Nah, probably only
At
a
least
year.
18 months, because it was all through COVID as well.
Yeah.
So it was probably a year and then COVID.
Oh yeah.
And then met Kelsey through one of my best friends, and we've been dating now for is it 2.5 years? I don't know.
Yeah.
Oh
something
wow.
like that.
Yeah.
Lovely.
Yeah.
I think the thing too was because we're always business partners. It was like, if you're not okay with this, it's like never gonna work. So
Yeah.
it's
yeah,
like
you have to be 100% okay.
it's not weird.
Yeah.
And like I'm friends with Kelsey. That's not weird. Nothing has ever been like weird about it.
It was like a leading statement, eh? Like it was,
Yeah.
I remember that as well. Like even before I would even meet up with someone, if I'd met them on Tinder or whatever like that, it was like, just so you know, like this is what I do for work and blah blah blah, and it's
Hey,
easy
I
to
work
work.
with my
It was easy to work.
ex-girlfriend.
In,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
It was relatively easy to work into conversation of like, like
What do you do?
Yeah. I almost find it weird when people ask me
If it's weird.
it's weird. Yeah.
yeah, same.
I'm like, why?
Yeah. Well, especially because it's been so long, and now, like you say, you've got kid number 2 on the way, married, all that sort of thing. If it was going to be weird, it would have been weird already.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's like, I don't want to say it. It's almost like brother and sister, right? You know, like.
We actually made that joke on the way here because we were wearing matching jumpers and we had matching backpacks. Just
Yeah.
No, it's so interesting. I do get it because my pretty much best friend now is my ex.
Yeah.
And we're obviously been on a journey and we're great now, but it's
Journey.
definitely.
Oh, that sounds like some good goss.
yeah. He left me for a man, so
no.
What?
I thought you might have the same story. No, I'm not assuming, but I was like, obviously that's why we can
Yeah.
be the way that we are.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's a journey, all right.
Right.
What's that? Failure is just an opportunity to learn. This is what I learned on the kids' podcast I've been listening to this morning.
And like you get there in the end, right? It's just a bit of a circle and
it
then
was
you're all
definitely
good.
a long journey.
That's so fun.
Yeah. All right, back to business. What's your what's your biggest learning in business? Do you reckon, or anything you want to share What's that maybe come from your biggest failure or biggest hurdle?
Oh, see, I can't even really think of a failure because if something happens, we kind of just work on it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
We fail every day.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
There's I think like we're much better business operators, bosses, cooks even than we were, a year ago, 2 years ago, 3 years
because
ago.
we're always trying to improve.
Yeah, we're smarter. We sell more food. We make more food. We look back at when we used to do $600, $700, $800 days at Mint, and we would be there from 3:30, 4 in the morning until 5, 6, 7 at night. And we're 10 times the scale of that and doing half the hours. It's
Yeah, it's pretty amazing, isn't it?
And it's just like always trying to improve. Like some people you see and they're like, they think they're kind of like the best at it or I don't know. And then they never like evolve
Never
any
change.
further.
Yep.
Yeah. So even now I feel like we're going on a different journey than
and we're
where
constantly
we
critical.
probably,
Like somewhat like self-deprecating, where we're just very like self-critical of everything we do, and even when we make something, we'll cut it up, and all of our staff will kind of be like, "Oh my god, this is great," and in our heads, we're sort of like,
Yeah, I could have done
Could
this
be better.
like I'm going to
Yeah.
do this next time, I'm going to do this next time, and it's never settled, never finished,
Yes.
Yeah.
And I don't take on praise. Like if you love it,
Yeah.
you're like a
I
little
do love it.
puppy.
It does
You're
love
like,
me.
give it to
Golden
me.
retriever.
I got a good
Yeah.
example was actually on the way down. Literally when we
Yeah.
got into the plane, Michelle pulled the book out of the back, being like, "Oh, see, you should send something to these guys." Flicks
Me
three
literally telling him, being
flicks
like,
three
"This is
pages,
pies
and
need to
then
go in
there's a
here."
picture of her book right on the bottom. She opens it up. She goes, "I hate the cover."
I definitely feel that. I really do struggle with. You don't know what to say when people say nice things to you.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you're right, like Lorne always gets annoyed with me. He's like, you're never like satisfied. Like, can't you just be like, pat on the back?
And that's the thing. It's not like I'm not happy with what I'm doing. There's literally nothing we would rather be doing, right? But like if someone says that to me, not you, I'm like, okay, cool, whatever.
And as soon as you achieve something, you're straight on to the next thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're like,
But
what
then-
can I do next? But that's what makes people successful when you're like constantly pushing for more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we've got so many ideas, so many plans, so many
Yeah.
things that we want to do. And like we might not do them all. We probably change our mind in a year as well, like we probably would have never thought we would be doing this much media and stuff a year ago. Just where it lands,
definitely. But it's just gonna put you on a trajectory, 100%. Like you've
Yeah.
had instant, massive success with it. It's gonna be amazing. You guys will be able to do whatever you want.
And yeah.
It'll be so interesting how you like that hurdle of being able to run a business and not be there.
That was what I struggled with when my 2-year-old was born.
Yeah.
That was like every second day I'd be crying, being like, I can't do this. Like I thought like having a baby was easy, but like because I never had to step back from like the shop ever, I was always available, I was always working. That was so hard. But I don't know, maybe after 6 months I got over being like, we have to sell the shops. I can't do it.
And Michelle's really good at that now. Like I think I'm always about 2 years behind Michelle, and she's at the
Yeah.
point now where she's barely at the shop, but it runs so smoothly. The team there's got everything under control. You have to cover the odd day for sick leave and annual leave and all that sort of thing. Whereas I'm at Ashby probably 80%
Yeah.
of the time that it's open.
Yeah.
And
And that probably needs to go down to 20, 30%. And it's my fault. Like I haven't managed to pass on that knowledge, put in those systems, do all that sort of stuff. And like, but it's getting better. Like
I'll text you and I'll be like, are you at the shop? And then you're like,
Yeah.
yeah. And I'm like, why?
in the last 3 weeks, I've taken a lot more days off. I've probably taken
2
more,
days off?
Yeah. But still, I've probably taken more time off in the last 3 weeks than I have the rest of the year.
Yeah.
And it's 4 days.
But
So
also, but also that's just like where I have to be at home, like
Yeah.
with the kids,
Yeah.
like
Yep.
whereas for me, it's sat at home
Yeah.
or like, like, do I sit at home and mow the lawns, or do I just go to the shop and do some work?
Yeah.
which
Like,
I do find hard because I love working.
yeah, same.
So yeah, but then like the whole kids are only little for like small amount of time, so we've got so many things that we can do. But also I think that's why like moving into more of the stuff we're doing now, you can create a bit more of a lifestyle.
Yeah.
Having retail
Totally.
stores that are open 7 days, if someone calls in sick, we need a replacement.
Yep.
And that's what's the hard part. So we can never check out.
Yep.
But then if we move onto more like content, product base, that's why like I push the pies too, because they're easier to scale.
Yep.
And like especially if we do like the frozen pie route, then it's not like
even
we're working
better,
for this
yeah.
day to get these sales, or else like they're gone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
It's true. That's pretty. That's pretty incredible. They do beat sandwiches on that front.
Yeah, like what you have to throw a sandwich. Well, we don't keep the pies, but like.
Well, that was the big difference of when we got rid of the sandwiches. So when we used to do the sandwiches, we would do, let's say on a Monday we'd make 36 sandwiches, and we would sell them for $12 each. If someone came in and bought 6, that's not unreasonable. You can't expect someone to pre-order, 6 sandwiches. But because all the bread has to be fresh, all the fillings has to be fresh, all the sauces have to be fresh, everything has to be done that day for them to be of a quality that we wanted to sell.
Yeah.
Someone comes in and buys 6, we actually can't make any extra money that day. We can't capitalize on that big order.
Yes.
Whereas with the pies, if someone comes in and gets 6 for an order, we can just heat 6 more.
Yeah.
Because they're all made chilled,
Yeah.
and then they're sold that day or the next day.
Yeah.
So if we do that, then it just comes out of the ones that we have to make for the next day, and
Make them overnight.
and we just
True.
sell more, and it's meant that we've been able to grow our sales a lot quicker.
Yep.
From a retail point of view.
It's that scale.
Yeah.
For sure.
It's so
You
interesting,
don't have a
isn't
cap
it? Like
anymore.
we just got so lucky falling into a business that you make a product and you can have it on the shelf for a
Yeah.
year. But it's just an actual something that I fell into. I could have been anything that I tried to start a business doing, and then now I look back, I'm like, God, I'm so lucky.
It's something it wouldn't cross your mind though.
Not at the time. I mean, the first thing I wanted to do was mayo. So when I was trying to do my market stall, I was like, I want to make mayos and sell mayos because I'm really good at making mayos. I want to do like chipotle lime mayo and like lemon and herb one and this. And I think I even made some batches, and I was like, this isn't going to work because if I don't sell those
Yeah.
this
it's gone.
weekend, then I'm in
Yeah.
the bin. So immediately I made a hurdle, and then that's when I was like, what about spice paste? That's kind of, let's do that. And that's how it happened, as
it was-
simple as that. But
For the first while, we sort of kept them in the fridge as well. Like, we didn't even really know that the spice paste could be shelf stable for
no, well, I didn't really know anything when I started, let's be
Yeah.
honest. It was just
No one
like
does.
Stirring,
No one does. I
stirring
think
spices in the kitchen.
that's the myth, right? Is
Yeah.
you don't know what you don't know.
Yeah.
It's the best thing to do is to just start and just give it a go and just what do you got to lose?
It's easier to steer when you're moving. Like,
For me,
Do you run into that issue though? Like people putting like a dirty spoon into like a
Yes.
paste jar, and then people are like, it's mouldy. It's
mouldy,
not your
yeah.
fault.
but it's the scale of it now. Like
Yeah.
that used to suck like 4 years ago, because you'd be like, oh, it's our
like,
reputation
I'm so
is tarnished.
gutted, and we'd go and like test. We'd always do the tests on the product, but like, make sure there's nothing wrong with this batch, and then
But
Now we
you
know,
might
you know,
still
we
get the
know,
odd
we
one,
know.
But you're like, oh, okay, we've
know.
done how many units? Like
Yeah.
one person has put a contaminated spoon and complaining it's moldy. Like it's a trade-off as well. Like how much time do you put into the customer service of explaining that to someone, or do you just say, sorry about that? Here's a free one.
jar. Yeah.
Like, you know what it
Yeah,
like.
we
Can't be like, you're the
now.
problem. You're so stupid.
No,
But
definitely.
now that we're at this scale,
Definitely
we
not.
just
Definitely
we're
not.
Yeah.
probably too frivolous with it, but it's the fastest, quickest, easiest way, and it keeps our reputation. We've always strived ourselves on having really, really good customer service to make it right.
Yeah.
yes, and we do. But then like you do have to investigate it, because there was a time, there's been random odd batches of something.
absolutely.
That's like, and you're like, I've had 3 this week. That's not normal.
Right.
That's
Yep.
something not normal.
Yep.
That's like, we can investigate it. But the dry product is certainly a more, it's almost issue free.
Yep.
Like the dry products, it's
Yeah.
just you get them bang on every time.
Yep.
Pretty much. We did recently though. We launched those scone mixes, and we had the gluten free scone mixes, and then we had 3 or 4 people saying they're too wet.
Oh yeah.
And I was like, I've tested them like 8 times. They're definitely not too wet. I was like, they must be using a yogurt that's too thin.
Yeah, right.
And they're like, we're not. We're using the same yogurt that you're using. And I was like, okay, I can't.
What's going
I
on?
don't know. But we think that someone's scales must have been set wrong in the kitchen, and they might have done 100 bags at like
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
maybe a slightly
Right.
whole weight or something.
Yeah.
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 That makes
Maybe?
sense.
Like-
Especially if it's like multiple people.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
You
it
can put it
was,
down to
and that was
yeah.
that first batch. We've never had any issues since. But the customer service girls are like, nah, it's
Something's
3 or 4
different
in
about
a
this
row.
one.
There's
Yeah.
not, and they are using the right yogurt. And I'm like, it's literally scone mix with yogurt. I think that's the blooming recipe. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
it's like you can't be going too far wrong. Yeah. Oh, I love it. Anyway, okay. Is there anything on trending that you wanted to talk about? Trending on the internet?
Oh, yeah. Chopped sandwiches.
Oh, yes.
I was going to ask this. I love sandwiches and all that stuff. You love it?
sandwiches.
Love
I want to do, and hopefully I've been meaning to do it for a couple of weeks, and hopefully I'll do it before you guys release this. So go check my page. But I want to do like a play on the pie sandwich and do like a chopped pie sandwich.
Someone put one out. The
yumma.
dude that's doing the like
lamb one?
pissing off the world. Yeah,
like
so yum.
And then
He recently did the New Zealand one. Is it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was like lamb and potatoes and
pie on
looked
top.
so
and topped
good.
it all up.
Oh, that's quite genius. Yeah.
It was fun.
But
It
yeah.
does make sense though. You get like a nice bit of a
Of
bite
everything.
every
Yeah,
time.
it does.
Yeah.
But yeah,
But it doesn't squash everything up. I
You
need
have
to
to-
try it. I need
yeah.
to try it. I do see it all the time.
I actually am on like sandwich talk. I don't know why. I don't get any baking in my like For You
Don't you
page.
just
No,
sandwich?
I either get like mum talk, which I hate. Like I hate seeing all that parenting stuff. But or else it's sandwiches. Like now I've forgotten his
Dan
name.
Roberts.
Dan Roberts.
Yeah.
He's my favourite at the moment, an Australian, and he does just put sandwiches
Sandwiches.
together.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've seen him. He's got quite a
Oh.
big following.
I love sandwich talk.
Probably is, yeah.
I just think that's brilliant. Yeah, absolutely love it.
But he seems so nice as well. It's like, your sandwiches look delicious. I'm going to watch this whole video. And then I end up watching it again.
And then you just like see it in another 2 TikToks. There's another one pop
Yeah.
up, and then
Yeah.
all of a sudden you're in sandwich talk.
Someone made a garlic bread bake thing from like crumpets the other day. So they cut crumpets in half, laid them all around a dish.
I saw that. I thought it
Soaked them in
looked
garlic.
awful.
But I thought so too. I don't like crumpets and then like
I love
mozzarella.
crumpets.
I'm gonna make
Have
it.
you made, what about homemade crumpets though?
No, I've not.
Oh,
I've
no,
not
you
done
did.
that. But
I love
I did
homemade
English muffins the other
English
week and they were outstanding. Yeah.
So they're actually way easier than they look too to
They're
make.
much easier.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were delicious.
Oh, you should-
just did like a sausage patty, burger cheese. Oh.
Yeah, see like that, what you used to make with the, what was it, whipped maple butter, whipped honey butter?
Oh yeah, the crumpets. Yeah.
Delicious.
I used to actually make a whole batch of crumpet batter and just cook it in an electric fry pan and cut it into. That worked quite well.
interesting.
It didn't sell well, but it worked
No.
really well.
Because those ones in the pack, what's it, golden something?
Yeah,
or-
I love those.
Yeah, I love
but
them too.
you have to double
Review.
toast them, and that's why I think like the garlic bake
Interesting,
wouldn't
so it's
work.
not going to work.
Because they'll just be soggy.
You don't want rubbery
Yeah.
either. Like the
What if you did an individual garlic bread then and like put them in the oven and
Well,
did like
imagine-
garlic
imagine
butter
if
and
you-
mozzarella on top of the crumpet?
That could work. You could toast them and lay them all in like a big sub with all the stuff in between them, because like they're a good vessel for butter.
Yeah,
They're
it is a
great
good vessel for butter.
anything that's a good vessel for butter, this is good to know.
Okay, I might work on that. I was like, oh, I actually bought some crumpets. I was like, I'm going to do something with that idea. But I've been seeing it. I clicked into one, so now I'm just seeing it all the time. So no one else may have seen it. But lime jello salad. This is something from maybe the 60s.
Oh
That's
no.
in America. It's in everyone's
That's
grandma's.
so old
I can
school.
picture it.
You heard of it?
They used to call
Yeah,
it
I see
aspics.
the-
Did they used to call them aspics as well? Was
They
the-
did used to do a lot of aspics, and I think it's like that, but they use a pack of lime jello instead.
Yuck.
And you grate carrots in,
What? Nah.
and then they they put cheese in or Cool
In the
Whip
jelly?
or mayonnaise. In
Oh, ew. It makes me want to throw up.
and then they set it. So it looks like a white green and then there's carrots and cheese and celery in the middle.
No,
Yeah.
absolutely not.
There is.
I don't even want to try it.
No, I don't want to try it. But
I don't even want to see it.
that is my trend. Like
And
recipes
you just
from the 50s
cut it
or
into
60s.
something and eat it into
Yeah.
like slices or something.
Yeah, or some people stir it all up so it's like a
salad.
like it's actually like
Wait.
an actual
Yeah.
So is it actual lime jello though, like lime flavored?
Yep.
Nah.
Lime flour. That fascinates me. This is my biggest fascination on TikTok is like those recipe books from so like even before the 50s, like
Yeah.
forever ago that your grandmas have, and like they used to make all these like whack recipes and like the aspic stuff, and there's people on TikTok going through these books and cooking
Yeah.
them all and doing
I think it's
series.
quite clever.
It's actually
Great content
it's
for TikTok.
So
But, like,
fascinating.
Back in the day, did they eat that and be like, this is delicious?
Yes, because
Peak cuisine.
Crawley.
it was grandma who'd made it, and she was like, "It's so nice. It's like I've been making this my whole life." Like,
Yuck.
if you look it up, the lime jello salad, you'll see there's hundreds of them.
But they
They all
don't
done
see.
differently.
Weirdly though, but I guess like a citrus, like the flavour citrusy sort of would work with the salad.
People
I guess.
used to make mayonnaise out of condensed milk.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
a
actually,
classic
that's
too.
my mum
classic
did that.
salad
Yeah,
dressing.
My mum did that.
Classic
Yeah.
Kiwi thing. It doesn't. It's
The recipe's still on the can
is
of
it?
condensed milk. Yeah.
Oh, there was a guy. They do a food tour, and they come and stop in here on the bus, and they bring
yeah.
the older generation through. And the guy who hosts the tour, he goes to me, "Oh, you make an aioli? Oh, you'll never beat my homemade one." I was like, "Oh, how do you do it?" He's like, "Can of condensed milk." No, I will never beat yours. No, you can have that. All right.
So good.
Excellent. Okay. Well, anything to cancel? Would you like to cancel anything before we?
Yes,
Wind
I've
up.
got one.
Yep.
So this is like a long-standing social media thing. It's when, I've seen you do it before as well, is when like people are filming when they've got a poached egg and you pop a poached egg on the camera. It makes me want to throw up. I hate it.
Really?
Seeing a runny yolk, I'm like so quick to skip and I'm literally like gagging like,
Oh my gosh,
That's what
why?
everyone wants to
I hate
see.
it. I hate it.
Really?
Yeah.
What? Do you just not like eat runny eggs at all? Or?
Yes, but they have to be medium poached, so not hard, not runny. I
Yeah.
just don't want a snotty yolk.
Yeah.
White, I mean.
She's awful to go out for brunch with because she sits there and looks at the poor waiter or waitress and says, "Oh yeah, can I have my eggs medium poached?" And they look at her going,
Yes.
But the thing is,
Sure, you'll
I
get
don't
it
want to be
however
dickhead. I just don't want snotty whites.
No, you're
like,
right,
That's
you're right,
disgusting.
you're
Because
right.
or else they can go too far raw, and it's like,
Yes.
and then it like goes all over your everything, and it's like, ugh.
It does make sense.
That's funny.
Yeah.
That's funny. I went to get cheese and crackers the other night, and the crackers at the moment, I just don't get it. Like, can we cancel everything apart from snacks and just agree that snacks are the best crackers? For
"Yeah,
cheese
I
and
agree.
Crackers?
I agree.
Thank you.
Yeah, salty, perfect, bland enough to go well with
they
anything."
are.
Yeah, and not like there's some of them, and it was like fig and something I can't even remember.
Oh, I love
and
those
then-
ones.
But you feel like you're gonna chip your tooth when you're
Yeah,
biting
yeah,
into
yeah.
it,
Yeah,
and I'm
too
like,
hard.
this is
And
just
like,
too
actually,
fat.
they're really gross eating them on their own. It's like
Exactly.
kind of tastes like cereal.
With the right cheese though, like
Yeah.
with
You
a
need the
really
right cheese, like
stinky
a
blue
really-
cheese, like a
Yes,
nice
exactly.
fig seedy cracker would be. But I'm still team snacks.
Yeah.
I love those a knackerbrod kind of thing that used to be called Lena's knackerbrod, and
Yeah.
then Papa Crisps bought them in the blue
Yeah,
packet.
those are delicious.
And they're like yum, and you get rye flavour, or there's rosemary and sea salt or something, and you crack it. It's lovely and thin. It's not too seedy.
It's literally like a flat.
And it
flat.
lavosh.
Yes,
Oh,
yes,
yeah,
pretty
right,
much
right, yeah.
lavash,
I
yeah.
think I know
And
what you're
they're
talking about.
spectre. They do break a little bit under a cheese, but that's my ideal cracker.
Yeah.
They have the best flavour, I reckon.
Is it 480? What's it called? The little tiny rectangle crackers. I like those.
Oh, and
The
they're
fancy ones.
they're kind of like OT, not OT,
Yeah.
but kind of
I know.
crumbly,
I like
aren't
those.
I
they?
don't like those.
Yeah, I like those.
Oh yeah, they're quite thick. They're good with if you can fit a fat cheese and a good relish to balance the
Or like
thickness
that
of the
sort of like jelly kind of stuff
like
that
walnut oat ones are quite nice.
yeah.
I still think I'd rather just
Taste-
fresh bread though.
Snacks.
Fresh bread.
yeah, fresh bread, cheese.
That's
Oh.
actually a good call. Yeah,
Yeah.
you can actually cancel all crackers. Have bread.
Yep. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, cool. All right.
I actually just want to know, like, all I remember about the Warriors is that they suck. Do I have to start watching
They've never
them or
sucked.
something?
They've never sucked.
But
They've never
that's
sucked.
what everyone that likes the Warriors say. But like the results don't say that. So
That's-
are they better now? Do I have to start watching League?
They're much better now. The results are starting to come through.
Yeah.
My favorite thing about that is I started the Warriors stuff kind of as a bit of a joke on the TikToks, and that was before they were good.
Yeah.
And so one of my biggest videos is the chicken katsu one. It's pinned in my profile, and right at the end, I'm sort of spraying a beer around, going like, "What if the Warriors win the Premiership?" And that was in February when we were tipped to win the wooden spoon.
Yeah.
And so I'm just hoping we make the finals now, and I get to remake that whole video.
Oh, how
'Cause There's so
good.
many comments on there being like, "Oh, not sure about the Warriors thing, but the pie looks good." And I'm like,
Yeah. And
gotcha.
it's so funny seeing the comments changing, right? Everyone was giving you so much shit.
Yeah.
And now everyone's like, yay, go the Warriors.
Because I'm just still convinced that you're just trying to get in the pockets of the Mad Butcher to like make the pie business cheaper, really. Because like like, it's obvious.
Smart business.
His daughter comes in regularly.
Really?
Yeah, his daughter comes into
So
Ashby
it's
'cause she
working.
lives-
I see. There you
She
go.
lives in Remmers. He's been
Confirmed.
He's been threatening to come in. He's a busy man. It's hard to tie the butcher down. But yeah.
Be.
Yeah.
Big celeb.
Fair.
Big old
Fair.
celeb he is.
Nice.
All right. Okay. Thanks so much for coming on. I had one. I was cancel spaghetti with the little sausages in it.
oh, yeah.
Oh yeah.
I forgot that existed. And because Pepper's just discovered a love of baked beans from our breakfast buffet. She's like, I can get these
Beans
spaghettis.
with the little sausages in them.
What are those in the spaghetti? Sausages?
right.
It's not for me.
Were you going to cancel airplane lollies?
Oh yeah. The New Zealand
no.
lollies. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
No,
They're
I
so
love
overhyped.
them. They're my favourite.
You can only get black ones now, too. They bring that colour today.
Oh, really?
No, we didn't get them. There's too much turbulence.
Yeah.
That's how we spoke about it on the
Yeah.
on the plane.
He was like,
was windy.
well, I might say I'm going to cancel airplane lollies. I was like, shut up. No. They're my favourite.
Yeah, they don't.
But wait, do they only do one flavour now?
Yeah, it's all blacks. It's all blacks,
nah.
I think.
Oh,
They're all only black lollies. Yeah.
no.
Double
I like a
cancelled.
mix.
Weird. Yeah, it is weird. Do you know?
I love them.
that's, I only learnt recently that's to help your ears pop. That's what
Yeah.
I give them to you to suck on. To
I-
help your ears pop.
See, like, I have no shame. I would, like, open my hand out, but you see, you open it wide, do a small claw, and then you get everything in the inside and the outside. I just take most of the basket. I got no shame.
I feel like they wouldn't care though. You could probably just like open your bag and just be like, tip it in.
That's probably you're allowed to take 2 airplane lollies, but Cam always asks for extra cookies and chips. I was like, you can't do that. That's your one per person. All right, excellent.
Surely.
Thanks so much for coming on, guys. Amazing to have you here. Great chats. It's epic. I can't wait to see what you do next. I think that's incredible. Incredible content, like business brains, food brains, all alike. Love it.
Fun times. Thank
Yeah.
you.
Can't wait to see pies in the supermarkets.
Yes.
Yeah, that'd be
What are
cool.
we call them? Ashby pies?
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. It's kind of like a nice, almost polished name.
Yeah.
It is. It's actually perfect. Where
It's
did the
actually a street
name-
name.
The street name.
Yeah.
Oh,
Because we got,
Oh yeah, trademarked.
yeah.
We had a different name that I don't like anyway, so
Yeah.
it's good.
okay.
That's another story.
Yeah.
Easy.
Where did mint come from?
Don't
Yeah.
know. Just random. Yeah.
Okay,
You
cool.
think too much about a name and then it just like
Yeah.
you talk yourself out of it. So.
You
But
can
actually,
make-
all names are kind of stupid. You know, like cafe
Yeah.
names are just random.
If you think
can-
about any name too much, it's
Yeah, you can make the name fit the brand. You know, it's just how you present it.
Totally.
very true. All right, thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thanks for listening to the Pepper and Me podcast, guys. Make sure you like and subscribe. And if you're interested in any of the products that we're talking about, you'll find us at pepperandme.co.nz.